that you were the original podcast interviewer. How'd that go?
It was amazing.
How come?
Well, to be honest, it was amazing because I got to talk to all the faculty, and it was very relaxed, and we just had like a little chat with the faculty, and they were a lot more open in that than they normally would have been, which I don't know.
Behind the camera?
Yeah, behind the camera.
Like in front of the camera, actually, yeah.
Whatever. And like if we were just chatting, it was like with all this cool stuff. Because my main question was like, what's your favorite thing about being a professor here? Went off on what they love about it, and then we went from there.
Oh, that's so cool. So I could ask you that question. What's your favorite thing about being a librarian here?
That's a great question.
Right? You made it up.
Tables have turned, haven't they?
That was my plan.
My favorite thing about being a librarian is I am so curious about everything, and this gives me an excuse to find out about everything. And so sometimes I run out of ideas, but students don't run out of ideas. So they'll come in with something I never thought of, and then we can together like go down that rabbit hole of like figuring out what that is and helping them get going on that topic. And I share their excitement, which is really fun. And yeah, it's like a very fulfilling thing.
That is so cool. So like, what's an example of a topic that you like went down a rabbit hole with a student about recently?
Oh, recently?
Yeah.
The most recent one was about the Hawaiian homelands and the blood quantum rule. And so we went back and found Prince Kuhio's original testimony to Congress about that. And the student was like super stoked. I mean, I was super stoked.
Yeah.
Like it happened like really serendipitously, which will happen if it's you kind of let the research flow. I found that it'll like appear to you. I know it sounds a little hippy-dippy, but it does work. And so like she was super stoked to read the original testimony of Prince Kuhio back in the day. And that kind of set her off on her path of learning more about this, which was
And so did you find it online?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Okay. So here we are, like among all these books, right? And books are awesome. Books are amazing. But what else? What else is happening in the library that you see has changed? Let's say over the last 5 years, 10 years.
Right. So libraries, I mean, you look around, they used to be like a book box, right? It's a place to put books. It's before the internet. We didn't have the internet. So it's like where all the stuff was here. It's a book box. So like this floor is actually built at a much higher weight capacity than most buildings. And so we could put thousands of people up here because the books are heavy.
Oh, okay.
So, but they're not just book boxes anymore. Libraries are now service centers and all what do they call it? Wraparound services where you can provide a space, like basically you provide a safe space for students to just be and do whatever they need to do. And so that's just maybe not being at home because home's crazy, or they need to study, or they need to talk to their friends, or I don't even know. It's just provide a space. They call it the third space, right? Like homework and the third space. So a lot of people think third space like cafes, restaurants, but libraries serve a really important purpose as a third space. And
yeah, maybe a student can't afford to go to a restaurant and have a third space,
totally,
right?
And here's totally free. And what happens is they're in the library, and so it's like the energy of other people studying makes them more into studying. And so I've seen so many students like just be like, look over, and they're like, oh, what's that book? And then that starts them down a rabbit hole of curiosity about whatever they're doing. And so it's not just that safe space, but like Safe Space Plus.
Space Plus.
So it gives you like that thing. And downstairs, we have all our Hawaiian Pacific stuff. And so a lot of stuff, students will become interested and go down that rabbit hole, and then they won't even know that that's what they needed to know, but it just appears to them, and then they use it in their project or whatever. That's actually why books are still really important. It's that visual representation of curiosity, which is very difficult online. Because online has all the algorithms and stuff tend to direct you away, but this doesn't direct you anywhere. It just like appears in front of you. I think it's really magical.
And we have that. Okay, so when you say Safe Space Plus, what other pluses are there?
So the plus part is the intellectual possibility, right?
One of the pluses.
One of the many pluses.
Most important plus. Like we're at a college within a university system, so that's just amazing, right? Yeah.
And I don't know all the other pluses. That's one of the things that I do as a librarian is just provide the space, and then it turns into whatever it turns into. It's not my job to direct their like growth. It's my job to like provide a space that allows them to have growth. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, so cool. Like what could be cooler? I don't know, right? Like, so what's new in the library over the last couple of years? Any big changes?
Well, I mean, we're coming out of our COVID nightmare, right? So we're like relearning how to be with people, and I mean,
Yeah.
that's the world, right? We're all like had our little moment of like being with ourselves, and we're all learning to be with other people. And so we've gotten new furniture. We've got, actually, the first floor has been totally revamped. So it's completely new space. It's like everything that was old is now new. All new technology, all new furniture. There's the food pantry. Tutoring has all new furniture. Basically everything's new. We've added some private study rooms. Yeah, in the last 5 years, everything has changed like a lot.
And how do you think that those changes have allowed students to have that sort of intellectual playground? Do you think that's helped? Do you think that's...
Yeah, it has helped because so the furniture's all movable. It's all like they can just create their own space every day, which is really great. And I feel like I've made an effort to change the energy in there to more of an accepting like energy of like a culture of yes rather than a culture of no. And also even maybe not even that, just the culture of like, I'm not going to stand in the way of whatever you guys do. You guys do whatever you do. And I believe you're adults and you know what you're doing. So you don't need me hovering over you, telling you how to act. And our students are so great. Like we have this movable furniture, and we allow food and drinks now because that's been a whole thing. That was a no. That was a no before. Like no food and drinks. No, like culture of no. So I feel in like culture of yes, right? And so like, but that's a little scary being a culture of yes because you don't. When you say yes to something, you don't really know. Like no ends.
What are you saying yes to? Yeah.
Yeah. No,
it opens
story.
every
yes
door.
Starts the story, right? And so I don't know where the story's going to go. And I was really worried because it's like, food and drinks in the library, we're going to get roaches, we're going to get ants, all this other stuff. Are the tables going to be so messed up that I have to redo them every night? Our students are awesome. Never. There's never been any trash. All the tables get put back exactly where they are. It's like I'm so impressed with everybody, all the students here.
And so the students do that. They move the furniture around. They
move
create
furniture
spaces
around,
for themselves.
And they put it back like it was every day.
Wow.
It's amazing. It's never one night have I been there and been like, oh my God, the furniture is all messed up. I got to rearrange it. That has literally never happened.
But the awesome thing is that they feel comfortable enough in there too to rearrange the furniture and create their space.
Yeah.
Too.
And they tell us too. They're like, thank you for creating this space that we can make our own. They just want longer hours. I'm like, well,
Oh, you're only one person.
I was like,
yeah.
We all want lots of things.
Right. Really, they want maybe some of them wanted their number one space. If you were to walk into the library 5 years from now, do you think you'd see any changes, or what
I'm
would
to
you
be
say?
honest. I got that question ahead of time.
Okay.
And I spent a lot of time thinking about it last night.
Awesome.
I want it to be. This is gonna sound. When people ask that question, they always like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this."
Yeah.
And blah blah blah. I think it could be almost exactly the same. I hope it's the same. I hope it's the same safe space where people feel comfortable to do whatever they need to do. And maybe our tech is different, but tech's not really that important. Tech's just a tool. Like we might have a different brand of hammer in our toolbox, whatever. But I want it to be the space. Like I've been saying to everybody, like this utopia. You can build this utopia in this space. I want that space to stay that space where they're safe. They can do whatever they want. Yeah, I don't. That question was like, yeah, it's this. I mean, I hope it.
Because we're kind of there. We've been building it.
Yeah, maybe the students will build something that I can't see. Maybe there'll be something in the next 5 years that I can't see, and the students will tell us like what they need, and we'll just do it. Because I don't think I don't want to lead it that way. I don't want to send directions. I want to be receptive to whatever direction they want to send it in. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So in other words, you feel like we're there. We have our safe space, and whatever we can do, the students say, okay, well, maybe we need this. Maybe we need a maker spot, like some more tinkering spots or something like that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Jay, you are definitely not the average librarian that I grew up with. And I think it's amazing how we've evolved to create these spaces. And I super appreciate you talking.
Nice chatting with you.